ask you to ask you to
shut up and listen.
She will put this neti in her nostril and take it out from her throat. हो गया?
Oh my gosh, so much drama in this episode. And why? Why, people? Why? Why did Alina accept Steven's proposal? What's wrong with this girl? We'll get back to the Alina and Steven drama shortly, but I've got to say, from diarrhea and yoga to breakups, makeups and everything in between, this episode had it all and I loved it. Well, I loved most of it. There's a couple of storylines this year that, let's be honest, they're a little bit boring. It's not really going anywhere. Like Kenny and Armando. These two are the perfect couple. There is no drama here. The biggest drama for them is, I want our vows to be at sunset, not 5 p.m. Like, come on guys. Even this stuff with Armando's dad accepting him as gay, there's a glimmer of a storyline there, but something tells me it's all going to be alright in the end. And another couple that I'm really struggling to buy into, Corey and Evelin. What's their drama this week? Well, their relationship is back on. She's given him the green light to move back in, but oh, by the way, you have to pay half the rent.
And you pay half the rent.
obviously.
And then you've got Ellie and Victor. There's a lot of red flags with this relationship. Victor is just one of those really frustrating guys that even when they're in the wrong, even when they're apologising for something that they've done, you just don't trust what they're saying. Their words don't seem authentic. And this week, they're back in Providencia and there's definitely cracks appearing in their relationship. Ellie's questioning why she's there, why she's given up her business, why she's given up her life in the States for a guy who's already cheated on her, treats her like crap, and then just uses her like a human ATM machine.
Why am I doing all this stuff for this guy who treats me like sometimes?
So now let's get to my favourite storyline at the moment, Jenny and Sumit. This is like the gift that keeps on giving. So after Mama Sumit cooked Sumit's favourite meal last episode, Jenny is now down for the count and is vomiting with a bad tummy. Definitely some suspicion there that Mama Sumit might have tried poisoning her. No, I'm kidding. So Jenny's just being weak. Only one bout of diarrhea, Jenny? That's nothing.
जेनी की हालत खराब हो गई हम लोगों को अगर 3, 4, 5 भी हो जाता है ना तब भी हम ठीक रहते हैं कुछ नहीं.
And then this one. How disrespectful of Jenny not to get up for breakfast. It's so funny. The way they all charged into her bedroom to examine whether or not she's okay. This right here is the face of a woman who's just had enough. Honestly, how Jenny puts up with all of this, I do not know. I love how Mama Sumit is so blunt though. She's like, I've come to teach you stuff. Get up. You don't look sick. Nothing wrong with you. Time to learn how to be an Indian wife. Hurry up and stop being lazy. But then it starts to get worse. Mama Sumit, who just so happens to be a former yoga instructor, decides that now is the perfect time to humiliate Jenny even more and try and teach her some yoga. Which, by the way, probably not the best time to be doing that if you've just had diarrhea. And yeah, while the dad seems to be relatively diplomatic, Mama Sumit is back at jabbing. And every opportunity she gets, she is going to belittle Jenny, whether or not she understands Hindi.
कुल ढीली हो चुकी है कुछ नहीं है उसके अंदर ताकत एज है मेरी भी जो इतनी मतलब मैं उससे बहुत अच्छी हूँ.
And then comes, quite frankly, the most disgusting scene I've ever seen. Even more disgusting than Jenny's kitchen. Mama and Papa Sumit decide first to put mustard oil up their noses, presumably for some kind of lubrication, and then they go on to teach Jenny how to floss their nostrils using their mouth. So freaking nasty. This was absolutely disgusting. And also, the irony isn't lost on me that these were the same people who last episode told Jenny off for putting her used tissue on a plate, which by the way I actually agree with, that is kind of nasty, but this was 1,000 times more disgusting than that. And I've got so many questions about this whole nose flossing thing. Like, are they actually sharing that tubing thing that they're using? Because it really seems like they are. Does it go up Mama Sumit's nose out of her mouth? Then does Papa Sumit use it and put it in his nose again? Ugh, disgusting. No thank you, ma'am. Even Jenny finally plucked up the courage to say no to these people.
I'll do almost anything to impress Sumit's parents. I'm trying to win them over, but that's one thing that I'm sorry I just can't do.
Moving on, let's talk about Steven and Alina. So finally, after weeks of promising and not doing anything about it, Stephen has finally deactivated his Facebook. Although, Alina, just a heads up, if the messages that upset you are on WhatsApp, deleting his Facebook probably isn't going to solve the issue, especially when Stephen doesn't even know what all the fuss is about.
I don't really understand why she's so upset. There wasn't even anything in that chat.
But you know what, guys? Listen, take notes here, pull out a pen and pad, because the next time you're in an argument with your partner, here's what I want you to do. Offer to take them out for an ice cream and then gift them a holy scripture with flowers on it. Oh my gosh, you can't make this up. I don't know what's worse, the fact that Stephen thinks that that's a worthwhile gift, or the fact that Alina's so happy with it. And did you catch what he said about the blank page? On one of the pages, he wrote her a note telling her that she's his moonlight or something, but on the next page, he's left it deliberately empty so that the next time they fight, he can write another handwritten sorry note for her.
On the front page, I left it blank, so that way next time we get in a fight, I can still write something else in here.
There you go, nailed it, boyfriend of the year right there. What was quite interesting though is how a lot of what's come out in this week's episode basically reinforces what I said in my video about them last week. If you haven't checked that video out yet, take a look. I do a deep dive into all the red flags about Stephen's behaviour, including the latest allegations since the show's ended about his inappropriate social media messages to other girls. But yeah, he gives us an insight into how calculated and manipulative he is when he talks about how even giving Alina a gift involves strategic thought.
For turkey, I prepared a bunch of gifts to give Alina at strategic moments when I feel they'll be most impactful, such as today.
And we also hear straight from the horse's mouth from Alina herself that, yeah, she's naive and vulnerable. She hasn't had many relationships in the past. She fell in love with Stephen's words, and basically she doesn't know any better. She's looking for that perfect fairy tale ending. And then comes the boat proposal scene. Okay, first off, so listen, credit where credit's due. I'm not the biggest Stephen fan, as you can probably tell, but that proposal, if you ignore the fact that it's Stephen, that proposal was actually quite well thought out and romantic. He had sunset waterfalls in the background, he rented a keyboard piano in order to play her a song, he wrote her the song, he practiced it on the captain, and yeah, well done for trying, I guess, but as good as he was at playing the piano, I'm sorry, his singing, the less said about it, the better.
Ask you to marry. Ask you to.
And yeah, shock horror, when he got down on one knee, to no one's surprise, Alina said yes. You should have literally heard me screaming at my screen. I don't know what this girl is thinking, and I'm telling you now, she's going to look back on this moment in years to come and wish that she dived headfirst off that boat and swam for safety. But hey, her life, her decisions, right? Anyway, speaking of decisions, let's talk about Ari and Biniyam. There was actually a lot that happened with these two, and after baby Avi finally had his surgery, 2 months after arriving in the States, Ari's mum and her sister again had their say and made it clear they want Ari in the US and they don't think her relationship with Binny is well aligned.
Sometimes I think that the life he's building in Ethiopia is not the same one that you're building in Ethiopia.
You're more serious about where you're going with your life, what direction and vision you have for your family.
He's not going in the same direction that you're going in.
I really think you need to be here.
And would you believe it, the very next scene, which apparently is a few weeks after that conversation with her mum and sister, and by the looks of it, several facial procedures later as well, we have Ari on the video call with Binny telling him she's not coming back to Ethiopia.
I'm not coming back to Ethiopia.
Why you did it to me like that?
She seems to be hinting that while she's been away, Biniyam has been cheating on her. Now, apparently, in Ari and Avi's absence, Biniyam has turned the family home into a party house. He's been having girls over who apparently stay the night, and Ari claims, although I'm not totally sure that I believe this, but she claims that friends, including Binny's sister Wish, have been messaging her to let her know about all the parties and ladies in Binny's life. Now, the reason why, I don't know, maybe it's true, but the reason why it seems a little odd to me is Binny's sister is so close with her brother. She literally protects him and takes his side in every argument. So I find it a little hard to believe that she's apparently told Ari that her brother has cheated on her. She's already fearful that Ari's not going to come back to Ethiopia and Binny's going to end up losing another son. So it just seems a bit weird that she'd be incriminating her brother and pretty much guaranteeing Ari won't come back. But anyway, this is a very one-sided video call. We didn't really get to hear Binny's version of events, but Ari laid down the law. She's point blank refusing to return to Ethiopia, and she gave him an ultimatum. She said, look, if you want to save our relationship, we as a family have to move to the neighbouring country of Kenya. Or the alternative, she says, is they can call it quits, they can end their relationship, and Binny can have legal arrangements to see their son, but they won't be together anymore. My only question mark is, if Binny did cheat, let's say everything that Ari is saying is true, right? She seems to be kind of quick and very willing to forgive him. Like, if you know that your man is sleeping with another woman, is that the conversation you'd have with him? It seemed like she was very much at peace with it. There was no emotion there. It was all very matter of fact.
There, you had girls over my house. I don't know who was sleeping in my bed, who was sleeping in me and Avi's bed. What you were doing, it's so shameful. For the health and safety of your family, you should consider getting tested.
What?
You can come and live with me in Mombasa with Avi, and we can start it over again as a family.
If watching hundreds of hours of this show has taught me anything, most cheating scandals at least have some screaming and some tears, right? I don't know if Ari's allegations are totally true, partially true, or maybe she's just using the situation, twisting the facts to suit her and then trying to get him out of Ethiopia. I don't know. What do you think? Let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. Now, on the one hand, you can't help but feel a little sorry for Biniyam because history is repeating itself again. It's almost like he knew what was about to happen. He was so desperate for Ari not to go to the States in the first place. But then, on the other hand, as sad as it is to see how helpless and powerless Binny is in this whole situation, if what Ari is saying is true and he's gone on some wild, boozy, downward spiral ever since she left for Avi's surgery, and if he's been out partying and cheating, then yeah, the sympathy definitely stops there. If that's the case, it's very hard to feel sorry for him. He brought it on himself, right? So let's just wait and see what happens with this one. So yeah, that's my take on this week's episode. What have I missed? I'd love to carry on the conversation in the comments below. If you like this style of recap video where I recap what happened in the most recent episode, do me a favour, leave me a comment down below to let me know you enjoyed it. And if you haven't already seen my video about Stephen and all of the red flags, I'll leave that on screen for you to check out now. Thanks for watching. Catch you on the next video.